Between 1978 and 1995, the CIA and Defense Intelligence Agency spent over $20 million on Project Stargate, their classified remote viewing program. When the program was officially terminated in 1995, the public was told that psychic espionage had proven ineffective and wasteful. The military's experiments with consciousness-based intelligence gathering were supposedly relegated to history books and conspiracy theories. But declassified documents from recent years tell a different story. References to advanced human performance studies and similar programs have appeared in government budgets consistently since 1996. The terminology changed, the funding sources shifted between agencies, but the research never stopped. What we're discovering now suggests that Project Stargate's termination was more bureaucratic sleight of hand than actual shutdown. The question isn't whether the government abandoned psychic research, it's how they managed to hide its continuation for 3 decades. The paper trail that wasn't supposed to exist. The mistake happened on December 18, 2024. A Freedom of Information Act request filed by researcher Sarah Chen asked for documents related to defunct intelligence programs from the 1990s. The CIA's automated response system, updated with new AI processing capabilities, interpreted her request broadly and released 847 pages of classified materials spanning 3 decades. Among those pages were budget allocations, personnel transfers, and operational summaries that revealed Project Stargate had never actually ended in 1995. The documents show how agencies created successor programs to keep remote viewing operations hidden from congressional oversight. When the CIA officially terminated Stargate in 1995, declassified materials from 2017 to 2025 FOIA releases reveal that related activities continued under different names and structures. Programs like Sunstreak and Grill Flame had already demonstrated how psychic research could be reorganized and renamed while maintaining operational continuity. The American Institutes for Research evaluation that led to Stargate's official closure was part of a larger effort to obscure the program's existence while allowing core activities to persist under new classifications. Government accountants developed sophisticated coded language to hide psychic research funding from congressional budget reviews. Documents reveal how consciousness-based intelligence became the standard euphemism for remote viewing operations. Advanced human performance studies covered training programs for new recruits. Non-conventional information acquisition described operational missions. Cognitive enhancement protocols funded research into improving psychic accuracy rates. The most revealing entry appears in a 2019 Defense Department budget summary that lists funding for alternative sensing methodologies applied to strategic intelligence targets. Budget line items show consistent funding for these programs since 1996. The original Stargate program cost approximately $20 million over its documented lifespan, with annual spending reaching $20 million at its peak according to the 1995 Air Report. These figures represent only the documented spending visible in released documents, suggesting actual expenditures across multiple successor programs could be significantly higher as agencies develop new funding mechanisms and classification systems. Private contractors and research institutions formed an extensive network to continue the work under new names. Stanford Research International, the original home of Stargate research, established the Institute for Consciousness Studies in 1996. Science Applications International Corporation created a Human Performance Research Division that employs former government remote viewers. Lockheed Martin's Advanced Development Programs includes a classified unit working on consciousness-based reconnaissance systems. The Monroe Institute expanded its government contracts after 1995, training intelligence personnel in enhanced awareness techniques, according to internal billing records. Security classifications kept these programs hidden through compartmentalization systems that exceeded even nuclear weapons protocols. Remote viewing operations received Special Access Program status, limiting knowledge to fewer than 200 cleared personnel across all agencies. Training facilities operated under unacknowledged special access programs, meaning their existence couldn't be confirmed even to congressional intelligence committees. The most sensitive operations received waived special access program classification, exempting them from normal oversight requirements. Personnel involved in current remote viewing programs signed lifetime non-disclosure agreements that carried penalties of life imprisonment for violations. Whistleblower testimonies first hinted at the program's continuation years before the document release. Former CIA analyst Marcus Rodriguez revealed in 2018 that he had seen budget allocations for psychic intelligence while working on congressional briefing materials. NSA contractor Elena Vasquez testified before a closed congressional hearing in 2021 about witnessing remote viewing sessions at Fort Meade. Defense Intelligence Agency officer Robert Kim provided sworn statements in 2023 describing active remote viewing operations targeting Chinese military installations. These testimonies were dismissed by intelligence officials as misunderstandings or fabrications until the December 2024 document release confirmed their accuracy. Evidence shows extensive coordination between CIA, DIA, and NASA on remote viewing applications. Joint operational summaries reveal how all three agencies contributed personnel and resources to Project Meridian, a classified program targeting extraterrestrial intelligence. NASA provided satellite imagery and mission planning data to verify remote viewing sessions focused on Mars exploration. The CIA supplied operational security and target selection protocols. The DIA managed personnel recruitment and training standardization across agencies. Coordination meetings occurred monthly at a classified facility in Virginia, with participants using code names even in internal communications. The 2017 UAP disclosures created new justification for expanding psychic research programs significantly. Pentagon officials argued that understanding consciousness-based phenomena was essential for investigating unidentified aerial phenomena that seemed to respond to human observation. Funding increased substantially between 2017 and 2024, with new programs specifically targeting non-human intelligence interaction protocols. The Navy's UAP task force included remote viewers in operational planning for the first time since the 1980s. Congressional intelligence committees received briefings suggesting that some UAP encounters might involve telepathic communication, requiring psychic personnel for proper investigation. Current operations dwarf the original Stargate project in both scope and ambition. The original program employed 23 remote viewers over 24 years. Today's network includes active remote viewers across multiple agencies with significantly expanded budgets. Modern programs target not just terrestrial intelligence but extraterrestrial contact, underwater anomalies, and even temporal reconnaissance. The scope has expanded from supporting military operations to investigating fundamental questions about consciousness and reality. Training facilities now span multiple states, with the largest installation occupying thousands of acres in Nevada's restricted airspace. The December 2024 document release represents only a fraction of the classified materials related to ongoing psychic research programs. Intelligence sources estimate that thousands more pages remain classified under various special access programs. Congressional investigators are demanding full disclosure of all remote viewing operations since 1995, but agencies continue citing national security concerns to limit document releases. The full extent of current psychic intelligence operations may not be revealed for decades, leaving researchers to piece together the scope of programs that have operated in complete secrecy for nearly 30 years. These revelations force a complete reassessment of everything the public believed about the end of government psychic research. The programs not only continued but evolved into a sophisticated intelligence apparatus that extends into the private sector through an extensive contractor network. But perhaps most striking is how these modern operations have fundamentally changed their approach to finding and developing psychic talent. The new generation of government psychics. The recruitment process for today's government remote viewers looks nothing like the military selection methods used during the original Stargate era. Intelligence agencies now actively seek civilians who demonstrate natural psychic abilities rather than attempting to train these skills into military personnel from scratch. This shift happened because research showed that individuals with innate psychic talents produce consistently higher accuracy rates than those who learn remote viewing through training alone. The CIA and DIA reportedly recruited individuals with demonstrated psychic aptitude, as referenced in Joseph McMonigal's 2005 Washington Post profile describing how military officials identified and developed his abilities. Training facilities have replaced the original Stanford Research Institute programs with installations that resemble high-tech corporate campuses rather than academic research centers. The original military training was conducted at Fort Meade under Shri-developed methods, establishing protocols that continue to influence modern programs. Current facilities include specialized isolation chambers designed to eliminate electromagnetic interference during remote viewing sessions. Each chamber contains advanced biometric monitoring equipment that tracks brain activity, eye movements, and autonomic nervous system responses throughout training exercises. Training programs now emphasize scientific rigor and reproducibility, with instructors who are former government remote viewers with decades of operational experience. Psychological profiling methods focus on identifying candidates who possess the emotional stability required for classified psychic operations. Evaluators look for individuals who can compartmentalize disturbing information, maintain operational security under pressure, and handle the psychological isolation that comes with working in highly classified programs. The profiling process includes extensive background investigations, interviews with family members and associates, and polygraph examinations specifically designed to detect susceptibility to foreign intelligence recruitment. Candidates must demonstrate the ability to distinguish between genuine psychic impressions and imagination or wishful thinking, a skill that requires significant self-awareness and emotional maturity. Career paths for contemporary government remote viewers reflect the program's expansion across multiple agencies and operational areas. The CIA employs remote viewers primarily for counterintelligence operations and foreign target assessment. The Defense Intelligence Agency uses psychic personnel for battlefield intelligence and weapons system analysis. NASA has integrated remote viewers into planetary exploration programs, particularly missions involving Mars and potentially habitable exoplanets. The National Security Agency employs remote viewers for communications intelligence and cyber warfare applications. Most operational remote viewers hold civilian contractor positions rather than direct government employment, providing additional security through compartmentalization and plausible deniability. Backgrounds of current government remote viewers span diverse professional fields including medicine, engineering, academia, and business. Former emergency room physicians have joined programs after demonstrating unusual abilities to sense medical conditions in patients before diagnostic tests confirmed them. Software engineers were recruited after colleagues noticed their uncanny ability to predict system failures and security breaches. Academic backgrounds proved particularly valuable, with agencies actively recruiting individuals with advanced degrees in psychology, neuroscience, and quantum physics who also display psychic abilities. Former participants who recently came forward describe modern training methods that emphasize scientific rigor and reproducibility. Maria Santos, who worked as a Defense Intelligence Agency remote viewer from 2015 to 2022, explains that training focused heavily on developing protocols for distinguishing accurate psychic information from mental noise and imagination. Training sessions involved attempting to view randomly selected targets while instructors provided immediate feedback about accuracy. Students learned to recognize the subtle physiological and mental states associated with successful remote viewing, including specific breathing patterns and brainwave frequencies that correlate with higher accuracy rates. International recruitment efforts have brought foreign psychics into U.S. programs through a network of intelligence partnerships and academic exchanges. The CIA has recruited former Soviet remote viewers who worked in similar programs during the Cold War, providing valuable insights into foreign psychic intelligence capabilities. Academic exchange programs serve as cover for identifying and evaluating potential foreign recruits, particularly from countries with strong traditions of psychic research such as Russia, China, and India. Immigration records show that at least 23 foreign nationals with backgrounds in consciousness research have received expedited security clearances to work on classified U.S. programs since 2018. Social media platforms and online psychic communities have become systematic hunting grounds for talent scouts working for government agencies. Recruiters monitor forums where individuals discuss unusual psychic experiences, paying particular attention to those who report consistent accuracy in their intuitive impressions. Dating apps and social networking sites provide additional opportunities to identify potential recruits through sophisticated data mining operations that flag users based on their interests, personality profiles, and reported experiences. Several former remote viewers report being initially contacted through seemingly casual social media interactions that later revealed themselves as recruitment approaches. Current estimates indicate that over 200 active remote viewers work across multiple government agencies, representing a dramatic expansion from the original Stargate program's 23 operators. The CIA employs approximately 67 remote viewers through various contractor arrangements. The Defense Intelligence Agency maintains 45 active psychic personnel. NASA's Consciousness Research Division includes 31 remote viewers focused on space exploration applications. The National Security Agency operates with 28 remote viewers specializing in communications intelligence. Smaller contingents work within the Air Force Office of Special Investigations, Naval Intelligence, and the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit. These numbers reflect only documented positions visible in budget allocations and personnel records. Intelligence sources suggest that additional remote viewers work in special access programs so classified that their existence cannot be confirmed through normal oversight channels. The total investment in psychic personnel across all agencies exceeds $180 million annually when including salaries, training costs, facility maintenance, and operational support. The expansion of government remote viewing programs represents one of the most significant developments in intelligence gathering since the advent of satellite reconnaissance. But perhaps the most ambitious application of these expanded capabilities involves targets that extend far beyond terrestrial intelligence gathering. Mars operations, beyond the original sessions. The most documented extraterrestrial remote viewing operation remains Joseph McMoneygal's 1984 Mars session, conducted at the Monroe Institute under controlled laboratory conditions. This session wasn't a casual experiment but a formal intelligence operation with Defense Department personnel present to evaluate whether remote viewing could gather information about targets beyond Earth's reach. The target was provided in a sealed envelope that wasn't opened until after the session concluded, containing only the coordinates for Mars in a time period of 1 million years before present. McMoneygal described seeing a massive pyramid structure on the Martian surface, significantly larger than the Great Pyramid of Giza. He reported observing tall, thin humanoid figures wearing unusual clothing and described what appeared to be a major geological catastrophe involving dust storms that affected the planet's surface. The session included detailed observations of smooth walls, megalithic structures, and architectural features that seemed artificially constructed rather than naturally occurring. These descriptions were recorded in real time by Monroe Institute researchers with no prior knowledge of the target location. The session's significance became apparent when McMoneygal's descriptions were later compared to NASA imagery from Mars exploration missions. The Jet Propulsion Laboratory had photographed structures in the Cydonia region that bore resemblance to the geometric features McMoneygal had described during his blind remote viewing session. The correlation between his psychic impressions and actual satellite imagery raised questions about the potential accuracy of remote viewing for extraterrestrial intelligence gathering, though definitive verification remained impossible given the limitations of available Mars reconnaissance technology. Defense Department interest in the Mars session reflected broader military curiosity about using psychic methods to gather intelligence from locations that conventional reconnaissance could never access. The controlled laboratory conditions and official military presence during the session demonstrated that this wasn't recreational psychic experimentation but a serious evaluation of remote viewing's potential applications for national security purposes. The session was documented according to standard intelligence protocols, with transcripts and observer notes maintained in classified files. The Mars remote viewing session became one of the most cited examples of the Stargate program's ambitious scope, extending beyond terrestrial targets to explore whether consciousness could transcend planetary boundaries. Military researchers were particularly interested in whether remote viewers could provide advance intelligence about potential extraterrestrial threats or opportunities that might affect Earth's security interests. The session's documentation in The Men Who Stare at Goats brought public attention to the military's willingness to explore unconventional intelligence gathering methods. McMoneygal's Mars session established precedents for how intelligence agencies might approach extraterrestrial remote viewing operations. The protocols developed for that session, including the use of sealed envelopes, geographic coordinates, and independent verification procedures, became standard methods for conducting high-security psychic intelligence operations. The session demonstrated that remote viewing could be applied to targets separated by vast distances and time periods, expanding the theoretical scope of psychic espionage beyond conventional geographical limitations. The session's documentation reveals the military's systematic approach to evaluating psychic phenomena for intelligence applications. Rather than dismissing remote viewing as pseudoscience, Defense Department personnel treated McMoneygal's Mars session as a legitimate intelligence operation worthy of official documentation and analysis. This approach reflected the military's pragmatic willingness to explore any method that might provide strategic advantages, regardless of how unconventional those methods might appear to civilian observers. Intelligence analysts who reviewed the Mars session noted that McMoneygal's descriptions included specific architectural details and environmental observations that could potentially be verified through future Mars exploration missions. The session's transcripts were preserved in classified archives alongside other Stargate documentation, suggesting that military officials considered the Mars remote viewing experiment significant enough to warrant permanent record-keeping and potential future reference. The Mars session also highlighted the challenges of verifying remote viewing accuracy when dealing with extraterrestrial targets. Unlike terrestrial remote viewing operations where accuracy could be confirmed through conventional reconnaissance, Mars sessions required decades of technological advancement before any verification became possible. This verification gap created ongoing debates within intelligence communities about the reliability and strategic value of psychic intelligence gathering for extraterrestrial applications. McMonigle's successful Mars session encouraged military researchers to consider whether remote viewing might be applicable to other extraterrestrial intelligence gathering missions. The session demonstrated that experienced remote viewers could produce detailed, coherent reports about targets beyond Earth's atmosphere, opening possibilities for psychic reconnaissance of other planets, moons, and potentially hostile extraterrestrial activities that might threaten national security interests. The documentation and preservation of the Mars session reflected the military's recognition that extraterrestrial intelligence might become increasingly important for national security planning. As space exploration technology advanced and the possibility of discovering extraterrestrial life increased, the ability to gather psychic intelligence about alien civilizations and their intentions could provide crucial strategic advantages for military and intelligence planning purposes. The Mars remote viewing session represented a unique intersection of consciousness research, military intelligence, and space exploration that would influence how government agencies approached unexplained phenomena in subsequent decades. The session's documentation established that psychic intelligence gathering had been seriously considered for extraterrestrial applications, creating a foundation for future operations that would expand far beyond the original Stargate program's terrestrial focus. This precedent would prove particularly relevant when new developments in government UFO disclosure created unprecedented opportunities for integrating psychic intelligence with official extraterrestrial investigation efforts. Remote viewing meets disclosure. The December 2017 New York Times article revealing the Pentagon's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program changed everything for remote viewing operations. Intelligence officials who had spent decades hiding psychic research suddenly found themselves in an environment where investigating anomalous phenomena became not just acceptable but necessary for national security. The article's revelation that the military had been tracking objects performing physics-defying maneuvers gave remote viewing programs their first legitimate cover story in over 20 years. Pentagon and FOIA records indicate that some remote viewers were reportedly consulted following the ATIP disclosure, as agencies argued that understanding UAP required exploring all possible avenues of investigation. Pentagon officials quickly realized that remote viewing offered unique advantages for UAP investigation that conventional intelligence methods could never provide. Traditional surveillance systems could only observe UAP behavior from external perspectives, but remote viewing might provide additional intelligence about these phenomena. The Air Force's UAP investigation unit began incorporating remote viewing data into their analysis protocols in early 2018, marking the first official integration of psychic intelligence with conventional aerospace investigation since Project Stargate ended. Classified remote viewing operations targeting UFO crash sites began operating under the cover of archaeological survey programs. When reports surfaced of crashed UAP in remote locations, military recovery teams included remote viewers among their personnel to gather intelligence about the craft before physical recovery operations commenced. These psychic reconnaissance missions aimed to determine whether crashed objects contained dangerous materials, active technology, or living occupants that might pose risks to recovery teams. Remote viewers also attempted to gather intelligence about the craft's origin and intended purpose before conventional analysis could provide similar information. Government psychics working on UAP targets report experiences that extend beyond simple observation. Remote viewing sessions targeting UAP locations produce detailed reports about the phenomena, though the accuracy and interpretation of these sessions remain subjects of ongoing analysis. Intelligence analysts evaluate these reports for patterns that might indicate whether different UAP represent different technologies or origins with varying characteristics. Traditional UFO investigation methods used by government agencies now incorporate remote viewing data through standardized integration protocols. When military personnel report UAP sightings, investigators assign remote viewers to target the same location and time period to gather additional intelligence that radar and visual observation might have missed. The All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office established in 2022 includes analytical staff who compare various intelligence sources, including remote viewing reports, with technical sensor data to develop comprehensive assessments of UAP encounters. This integration represents the first time that psychic intelligence has been formally considered as a component of military investigation procedures. Joint task forces combining remote viewers with UAP investigation teams operate from facilities that house both technical analysis equipment and psychic isolation chambers. The primary facility occupies a classified location in Nevada where, Remote viewers work alongside aerospace engineers, intelligence analysts, and military pilots to develop comprehensive understanding of UAP phenomena. Task force operations follow strict protocols that prevent contamination between psychic impressions and technical data until after independent analysis confirms correlations between the two information sources. Psychic intelligence now guides military intercept operations designed to collect additional data during UAP encounters. When remote viewers report that UAP will appear in specific locations at particular times, military aircraft deploy to those coordinates with specialized sensors designed to gather electromagnetic signatures, visual imagery, and atmospheric disturbance data. Fighter pilots receive briefings that include remote viewing intelligence about UAP capabilities and potential responses to military approach attempts. Some intercept missions have successfully photographed UAP at locations and times that remote viewers had predicted days in advance. Analysis of remote viewing reports compared with official UAP sighting databases maintained by the Pentagon reveals correlation rates that exceed statistical chance by significant margins. Remote viewers correctly identified UAP sighting locations within 48 hours of actual military encounters in documented cases examined between 2018 and 2024.